everybody. Russ and My Hammers 11. I hope you're all safe and well. This glorious weather we're having at the moment. And I can say that whenever, because it's going to rain for these the next week anyway, so it doesn't matter when this comes out. We know it's going to be raining. Hope you're all safe and well. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing and hitting the bell icon so you're made aware of any time I put new content on. Lots of great guests as always. And today's guest, you'll have seen him and Henry. They're starting to do the podcast and stuff, which is fantastic. We'll talk about that in a tick. It's Louis Pye. Hi, Louis. How are you?
It's Lewis, actually. I know it's spelled Louis, but
the thing is, and I asked you before we started about the surname, and I never asked. I do apologise. I'm just going to call you Lou for the rest of the time.
Lou, because everyone calls me Lou anyway. So,
and it actually says it on the screen. So there we go. Anyway, Lou Pye, how are you, Lou?
I'm good, thank you. I was buzzing after Sunday's demolition of Wolves, but the game against Everton brought me back down to earth. So
yeah.
We'll see how Saturday goes.
Yeah, we'll see how Saturday goes against Leicester City, who have just turned over, Man City. This will probably be going out on the Sunday, so I don't want to be an idiot and make a prediction.
It is on Sunday, isn't it?
It's on Sunday. Oh, it's even better. Yeah. So we're still we haven't been beaten yet, so that's fantastic. But we don't know what team's going to turn up, do we? We don't know what team. Even our cup team that was brilliant became this sort of hybrid team, the Everton game, because it was neither one nor the other. It wasn't our league team, wasn't our cup team, and stuff like that. But how are you apart from that, regardless, non-West Ham related? How's things with you in this weird world we live in?
Yeah, I'm okay. I've just moved in with my girlfriend, so that's good. Well, I moved in just before lockdown, but I wasn't officially living there. I was living there because of lockdown, but now I'm officially here. So
so you sort of like a trial period. It was like your sort of probation.
In a sense, it kind of just. I was just there when lockdown happened, and I was like, oh, I'll just stay for a bit. And then,
the doors are shut. And I can't get out, so you're stuck with me, love. Even if you don't want to be with me.
I've not managed to put my West Ham gear on the walls yet, but we'll get round to that.
Oh, don't worry. I haven't got mine, and I've been married to my wife for we've been together for 10 years, and I wouldn't even. That's why I do it down in the garage now, because it's like I can't. Over there, it's all it's all I don't know, greys. Everything's grey. I think that's the thing at the moment. So we've got different shades of grey. Yes, all everywhere.
50 shades of grey.
Oh, I wish. Oh, too only funny, but yeah, and I can imagine it's lucky. Obviously, it's a bit like you remember. I don't know if you remember when we signed Sebastian Schemmel, and we had him on loan, and he was really good, and then we signed him permanently, I believe, and he was dog crap, and that happened.
He won Hammer of the Year, didn't he? On his loan season,
yeah. And then he got his hair cut. He cut his hair like Samson.
That's always the problem.
And his footballing prowess just went. And God bless him. Happened to many, 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 many people. We do that a lot, don't we? We buy with a view. I mean, the only one probably exception at the moment is probably Souček. Obviously, because he was on loan, and then we bought him, and he's still doing all right. He hasn't had this sort of West Ham syndrome,
for sure.
Touchwood. And obviously, he's our agent now. He suggests players for us to sign and stuff. So.
Well, he's got one on board today, hasn't he? So
yeah, exactly. And then I was waiting. I was counting the minutes down before the club did the checkmate thing. It was too obvious not to do it, but they did it. I was like, fair play to them. But yeah, and obviously, the Hammers Academy stuff with Henry we've had on the channel and Jack and stuff. How's that all going?
Yeah, it's a new channel, so obviously it's a work in progress. But it's an interesting project to be on, and we're trying to put out videos quite regularly. Yeah. And hopefully over time it'll expand and more people will, be aware of it and get to watch our videos. So yeah, fingers crossed.
Yeah, no, I mean, I watched I've been watching it because obviously I keep a keen eye on anything YouTube West Ham related, just because because we all do, all the West Ham YouTubers do.
For sure, yeah.
It's great to see what other people are doing, and anything good we always share it and stuff. And I saw the stuff, the reaction video to the Everton game, which I thought was quite funny. I just find it quite funny.
Last night that wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, I just find it quite funny watching all these ones. I just think it's like everyone has the same opinion. It's really funny, but everyone has different channels. And you're thinking, if everyone clubbed together, we'd have more subscribers than the West Ham Ham official channel, which would be quite ironic, but it is what it is. But no, it's good fun. Same as me. I started this 4 months ago, 5 months ago, something like that, and it
Yeah.
just went. And as you
So
said,
is it? So it was like at the start of lockdown you started.
yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much, yeah,
Was that? Did you do it because of lockdown? You had a bit of
yeah,
free time. Yeah.
pretty much. And obviously, I don't know how I can't I can't remember how why I started it. But basically, it was I think I'd had enough of watching. Obviously you got a living girlfriend or you live with your girlfriend. I've had enough of watching Married at First Sight Australia, and it's all Australian programs, Love Island Australia, all that. And I think I've had enough of it really. And I just saw something that came up on, I think it was Wikipedia, about something about 20 odd years ago. The club did a survey they interviewed 500 fans to pick their dream 11. And you look at it and it's like, you could have guessed it. It was Phil Parks, it
The
was
obvious
Bobby
names.
Moore, yeah. And I was thinking, well, they wouldn't be my 11 because I've never seen them play. And I thought, do you know what? That was 2003, a long time. A lot of good players have come and gone. Some not so good players have come and gone as well. And I thought, do you know, it'd be a bit of a giggle. And I just started it as a giggle, really. And it's just become its own
It's
beast.
doing well, isn't it?
Yeah, it's doing fun. I love it. It's great.
You got 5,000 subscribers, have you? Or something
I
like
wish almost like four and a half.
Close
So
enough.
yeah,
It won't be long.
there. We're getting there. So yeah, it'd be nice to get 5,000. And yeah, I think we'll hit the ceiling eventually. But no, yeah, and it's
Something a little bit different as well from the others as well.
yeah. I mean, everyone. I mean, to be honest, everyone, like all the sort of the current YouTubers will say, the ones who do the current stuff, and more all the podcasts and stuff, they've all been fantastically supportive because it's different. So it's not like it's not competitive at all. It's like it's two blokes talking in the pub about what happened 10 years ago. Exactly.
Sit back and enjoy it rather than bemoan as why we conceded a certain goal.
Yeah, but that's sort of the niche that we do, and it means that it's a lot more friendlier. We talk about times gone by. It means we can get loads of different age groups of fans on, and obviously then we can get the ex players on as well from different genres. Got a few coming up next week, which would be fun. A couple of good ones next week, so it'd be good fun. And yeah, we're just having fun. And obviously we do stuff with the Iron Sporting food banks, the charity stuff as well.
Yep.
And yeah, just keeps me out of trouble, really, doesn't it? It means I haven't bought FIFA 21 yet. I haven't pre-ordered it. I'd have been all over that. Like if it lockdown, I'd have been all over that. If it was last year.
I didn't get FIFA 20, and I'm quite glad because based on what people have said, it wasn't very good. I don't know.
To be honest, I'm crap at whatever game it is.
No.
That was one thing. I was going to start a YouTube series as well because all the FIFA players are always really good. Do you know what I mean? And I'm really shit. And I thought
that would be a niche in itself.
Yeah, that's the next series coming out. My Hammers 11 is shit at
lose
FIFA.
every game.
Yeah, because I am, and I'm really crap, and I know I'm playing against a 10-year-old from Wisconsin or something like that. And my team is brilliant because I'm not being funny. I've got a job, so I can sort out the old FIFA points and things. So I've got a cracking team, but I'm just crap, so crap. I just don't know why. But anyway, we digress as we always do on this channel. Anyway, Lou, the first question I was asking, 8.5 minutes in, so that ain't too bad for me for once. Is why are you a West Ham fan? Because I can detect zero Cockney accents or Essex accent in your voice at all. Why? What's your origin story? If you was an Avengers, superhero, why are you a West Ham fan?
To put it quite simply, my dad.
Yeah.
He himself doesn't really have that kind of excuse. He picked them out of his own free will. Because one day when he was, I believe this is the story anyway, one day when he was, I don't know, 9 or 10, something like that, he went into a shop and basically just picked his favourite football shirt that he saw, and it was a West Ham. So I guess it could have just as easily been Aston Villa or Burnley on another day.
Oh, can you imagine? I mean, look at the signings Villa have got at the moment. It'd have been a great time to be a Villa fan, and Burnley, obviously.
But yeah, he's from Wigan, and so am I originally.
Yeah.
But my mum's side of the family on my granddad mainly. They're all Evertonians. And that's where my granddad and mum are from originally, Everton, specifically Everton in Liverpool.
Wow. Yeah.
So yeah, if they pushed harder instead of my dad, maybe I could have gone to the blue side. But I'm a West. Yeah,
you'd have been through to the final 8 of the Carabao Cup, on top of the league.
I mean, it's all looking good on in Merseyside.
It is, isn't it? It is. I mean, they're doing fantastic. I mean, both sides, aren't they? Merseyside are doing, you know,
exactly.
both of them are
But
doing
I wouldn't change it. I'm a West Ham
No,
boy, so
exactly.
it is what it is.
It would be nice to have a little bit of that, but I don't think. I think it would ruin us as fans. You know what I mean? Because it's like because we wouldn't enjoy it because we're waiting for that next game. We're going to lose 4-0 to Burnley, or you know what I mean? Yeah, we might be top of the league, but we've got Crystal Palace coming the weekend, and we know we're going to get. We know we're not going to score. You know, it's that type of thing. We've always got this sort of pessimistic next game mentality, and I just think it would be wasted if we had a, you know,
I mean, we had that brief. Well, in the season Leicester won the league, we had that brief period of glory. Not glory, but we came 7th at the end of the day. But you know, the Pye, all the players playing so well. Bielich last season at Upton Park. So that was kind of the highest point I've personally had as a fan since I started supporting them. In well, actually, speaking of Everton, ironically, my first ever game was at Goodison Park, and we lost 5-0.
I remember it well.
Obviously, I think 2001.
Yeah,
we lost that game 5-0, so that kind of set a precedent for just.
I mean, but that's the thing because like your bar is that low already, so it's like even if we lost 3-0 next week, it's an improvement on that, but that's what being a West Ham fan is all about. I just think it's character building. You know what I mean? It's like I was talking to a guy the other day, and he was saying that he's. I think it was Lee actually, Lee Vevitt. He said that his kid was sort of like a few years ago. Maybe I'm going to support Liverpool, Dad. Maybe, and then he went. No, stay with West Ham, and it is character building because it shows that you're not given everything in life. You have to work for it, and when you do get something good, you enjoy it as much as possible because you know next Saturday we're gonna get turned over by Sheffield United or something like that.
Well, after that 5-0 tonking, my dad always says. I don't personally remember. My dad always says right after the game, after the full-time whistle, the words that came out of my mouth was, "At least we hit the bar." So, yeah. I was more positive back then than I am now anyway. So
yeah, that's why it is always the way. It knocks it out of you, and no doubt at the moment, Lou, you're probably more positive than a lot of people at the moment as well because you're slightly younger, less experienced. I don't call me old or young. You're less experienced fans, but but I mean 2001. We had the cup final. That was all right. 2006.
2006,
yeah, we had that.
Yeah, not the way it ended, obviously, but
still, I imagine
I've had a couple of playoff wins, so
a couple of playoff wins. I mean, I'm the same. I mean, I tell her, I've had promotion. My first season, 92-93. There you go, proper glory hunter. But I mean, that cup final, you must have had not just your side of the family, your dad's side, but your mum's side, because obviously we played Liverpool, and they'd obviously wanted probably West Ham to beat them, didn't they? So
Yeah, I think my dad went to it, but I don't think he could get a ticket for me. Sadly, I know I was a bit too young to. Yeah, I think he would have given the ticket to me if I was a bit older, but I was a bit young. I think I was 10 or 11. So but he went.
That's why I didn't want to do progress in the Carabao Cup because at the end of the day the final would be behind closed doors and
that would have been typical.
Yeah, it would. It'd be so West Ham, But
we've always got the FA Cup.
We do, and by then, and that's why I think people take the FA Cup. Obviously, it's just the way that the Carabao Cup is scheduled, isn't it? It's scheduled. It starts like a week after the season starts. You have this barrage of games, and then
even more so this year.
Yeah, even more so. But then the next round isn't until December.
Is it not? No.
No, it's like December the 21st.
Has the draw been done for it yet?
No, I don't think so.
Because I'm just wondering who we would have got. But
that's the thing. That's what you do, don't you? You sort of work it through. You go, okay, well that means we're going to have this one. Oh, we'd have beaten them.
We always say that, but just because for example, Everton draw that team, it doesn't mean we would, because it's still a different balls and the way they draw it. It just doesn't work like that. But obviously, hypothetically, it's always the easiest route to go down.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I mean, it is what it is, isn't it? And we can concentrate on the league, and that's our main priority.
As always, surviving relegation.
Exactly. Let's get 17th. We can do it. Right. Okie dokie. And so, speaking of sort of like all the stuff in terms of sort of restart and obviously the stuff behind closed doors, when you watch football now, do you watch it with the crowd noise on or off?
Off.
Off.
I prefer it off. I like to. Obviously, I prefer the crowd was there, obviously, but I like to hear the way the managers speak on the touchline, the players to each other, even the referees you hear sometimes. There was a clip going around, I think it was yesterday, of Sean Dyche, however you pronounce it. He was basically calling Sterling a diving bastard. And you could hear it in his big robotic voice from the touchline, so that was funny. But yeah, I just like to, it just kind of brings a kind of like Sunday league feel to it. Like authentic, where you can just hear everything that's going on. So I prefer it with the fake crowd noise off.
Yeah, that's
cool.
What about you? No. Well, obviously, when I'm at the stadium, it's so quiet that I actually always have a watch along in my ears on YouTube, just so it's something. Because like at least when there's like 60,000 people there, I can look out and I watch people watching the game because I just find it fascinating. And I can't do that. I'm just looking in. It's just a sea of empty, dusty chairs. And
can you not hear the players or anything from?
No, because we're sort of like it's almost like it's a soundproof box basically. Sometimes and sometimes I creep out and all I hear is the journalist typing. And obviously you can hear some people scream. No, you don't really want that. So I always put a watch along, and obviously I'm in the ground, so I'm about 3 or 4 minutes in front of everyone else, really. By the time everything, so I was like, sub coming on, go, and then I was like,
so you know what's coming.
Yeah, Russ has spoiled it. It's a goal, but for who? I never say who it's for, just to try and piss him off a bit. But no, it's all fun, isn't it? And actually, I think people have adjusted quite well to it, in terms of the watch-alongs and Zoom parties and things like that. And it's a shame. It's a shame no one's there, and it is awful because it's just really quiet, and I just don't like it. Because you get no feedback. I could never hear the crowd noise, but I could always hear if it was a really loud game because the floor would vibrate because it's like literally a steel box. I don't get any sort of that one-to-one, but we still make sure we still pump the music up. We still have bloody London's calling on Twiston, because we have to play. Because people have asked me about this, and it's not my decision to play goal music. Okay, I've had a lot of criticism. It's not the Premier League suggested that people play goal music.
I think every team's doing it, really, aren't they?
Every team, and if you watch every team is doing it. So hopefully,
did you choose Twist and Shout, or was it the club? Or...
I made a suggestion about Twist and Shout. The suggestion wasn't. The suggestions given to me, and I thought, it's a West Ham thing. Twist and Shout is still West Ham. Is a West Ham song, and you don't want to play Bubbles or shit because it would just be overkill.
Oh, exactly.
Twist and Shout, but we'll see. Maybe we'll jazz it up a little bit and do a few, maybe Viva Bobby Moore or something. I don't know, something West Ham-y. We're just trying to do as much as we can just to keep a bit more atmosphere going. But
for sure.
Yeah. We'll try. Anyway, let's move aside. Let's talk about the Hammers 11, the whole point of the bloody show. So everyone we have on, bar 3 people.
Okay.
We've had Harry Redknapp, Ian Bishop, Nigel Coker. The 3 of them didn't pick their 11, but everyone else has. So the idea is you pick your 11 based on the players you've been alive to see play. The criteria is whatever criteria you want to include. If it's technically the best players, if it's your fans' favourite, a mixture, whatever it is, man. But as long as it's your players, that's all it is. So the idea is by putting that caveat on, it means we all don't put the same players in the team. Because as I said to you, we'd have, if you picked your dream 11, you'd be influenced by your dad and the stories you've heard. It would be Bobby Moore, and I wasn't around there to see
exactly.
So it's about your 11. That's why we call my hammers 11. And you can play whatever formation you want. You want to keep it simple.
I think I'll just improvise as I go through. I'll go 4 at the back, then I'll see from there.
I like it. I like it. It's sort of fluid, sort of the Carabao Cup 4 up front sort of approach.
Total football.
Total football. That's what we like.
Netherlands from under Cruyff.
Yes, that's what we like. Okay, let's start in goal. We'll start in goal on the back 4, and then we'll have fun. All right. So who's in goal, Lou, for the Pye 11?
In goal, I was thinking Rob Green, which I'm sure a few have said. But I didn't see him play too. I've gone for someone else. I didn't see him play too much in his first time round. It was a bit too early for me. But for some reason, on his second goal, I really liked him, and it was Shaka Hislop.
Oh,
Shaka. I don't have a particular reason why I like him so much, but I just always have.
Yeah.
I think since I've seen him quite a bit in punditry, and since he retired and stuff, he always speaks so well of us.
Oh, brilliant.
And I have a friend online that I've known for a while from Trinidad, and I think he's good mates with him as well. So he's always backed him up, and I've just always had some weird connection with Shaka Hislop that I've always liked. So there's not an obvious reason why, but I just he obviously played in the FA Cup final 2006 as well, and that run.
Yeah.
That run up to it. So in goal, Shaka Hislop for me.
Yeah, he's a great, honestly. Yeah, he's a great bloke. We've had him on the channel. He's a lovely guy.
Oh, have you?
Yeah. And he's obviously he's in the East Coast. And I think when we phoned him, I think it was during the summer where there was like a proper heat wave, and bless him, his AC had gone, so he was just sweating. He was sweating buckets, and he sort of had this sort of West Ham t-shirt on, and it was like, oh, bless him. But honestly, he was and he just made you smile when I think about Shaka Hislop. He just makes me smile, and I think that's so important.
I think that's part of it with me as well. He just seems like such a exuberant character who's just, you can just imagine his presence would just uplift you. So,
no, definitely. I mean, I remember when I used to work for Safeways when I was 16-year-old or 15-year-old, whatever, and he lived in Loughton where I lived at the time, and a lot of West Ham players did, and I would regularly serve him because it was that time where people didn't have Deliveroo and Uber Eats and Ocado. They'd go and do their own shopping, and
in his first spell around late 90s.
Yeah, and so he was. There was a bunch who used to go in, him, Samasi Yabu, people like this, and Shaka. But you'd see Shaka when he was in, because his head would go over the top of all the shelves because he was that tall. But he's top bloke. Loves the club, still loves the club, and lovely guy. All right, Shaka is in. If we play back 4, let's go left back then. Maybe we can have left back then, Lou.
This is kind of controversial because at the moment he's not so well liked, I guess, by the fan base in terms of performances. But Aaron Cresswell, I think, in his first couple of years at us, I think that first couple of years, taking aside the rest of his time here, is the best left back I've personally seen play for West Ham.
Yeah.
Unless I'm missing someone obvious, I don't think I am.
Probably not from No, I mean,
probably not from mid 2000s upwards. I think we've had quite a few stinkers in that position. So that Aaron Cresswell at his peak, obviously, in his first season he won Hammer of the Year. Yeah, and he well deserved as well. And then his second season, obviously, was the Pyatt season, the Berlin season. And he combined so well with Pyatt on that side, and he eventually got a call up to England, which was well deserved as well. And it was just that nasty injury on that pre-season before I moved to the London Stadium, which, I mean, I'm not sure we can still blame that for now, but I think it certainly took its toll at the time. And he's just never really been the same player since. But for those couple of years, I certainly think he's a very good left back for us, and is a good servant.
Yeah, I mean, he's been there a long time now, and I just think he's. Yeah, I agree though. I think injuries have played a massive part in him, unfortunately, and it happens quite often to a lot of our players. I think, particularly defenders, it seems. But for him, he was,
Reed.
yeah, exactly. So I just think, yeah, he seems to have this sort of. He seems to always have a small renaissance when they put him into a
Last
back.
season.
Yeah, when they put him into a back three, he always has a slight
Yeah, under
renaissance, doesn't
Moyes
he?
first. He played well for a few games last season when he
Yeah.
scored that free kick against Man U and obviously the winner against Chelsea. But overall, his defending's not at the level
No,
really that it should be if we want to progress as a team.
no, it shouldn't be.
But like I
And
say, last weekend they went to Wolves. He was brilliant next to
yeah,
Masuaku, and I think for the time being, that's definitely the way forward.
well, it is, and hopefully they don't because he doesn't have to worry about the attacking side of it. That's Masuaku, and he can just sort of stand there, really, and just
Exactly.
and join as and when needed. But no, I think he's been a good servant. I think you look back at it, and
Yeah.
he's been, was it 6 seasons now, 7 seasons, something like that. So,
and I don't get. I understand people don't want him in the team anymore. I think he gets a lot of unnecessary hate because it's not his fault that he is not at the level he once was.
No.
And like sometimes people forget, like footballers don't play bad on purpose. So like the vitriol he gets, like on social media mainly, but that stage we're in, really, isn't it, is unnecessary. And I think he deserves more respect than he gets.
No, I agree. No, I agree. Definitely. Right. Okay. We'll put Cress in. Let's go right back. Then let's go the other side. Who should we have right back?
Yeah, I thought I didn't really have many options on left back, and I think I even have even less on right back. I think fullback during the fullback positions during my time as a fan have been rather depleted. I mean, obviously, the previous decade you had the likes of Julian Dix, which would have been a shoe-in for most people growing up through the 90s. But going back to Kirbishley era, Lucas Neal.
Yeah, solid.
He was captain he was captain, wasn't he?
Yep.
He came in the January of the Tevez season.
Yes.
And he played a big part in that famous running. Obviously, people say Tevez single-handedly kept us up, but that's obviously not the case. No. We had lots of players keeping us up. And his leadership certainly played a part in that. And for a season or two more after that, he helped us consolidate ourselves as an established Premier League side.
Yeah.
With a couple of decent mid-table finishes under Kirbishley and then Zola.
Yeah.
I think.
No, I think you're right. Yeah, I think you're right. Then, if we're wrong, Lou, Kent Irons, bless him, will be watching it and mention it, so it doesn't matter.
Some know it all.
Oh, yeah, Kent's lovely, but yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, and he's just I think I don't think I appreciated Lucas Neal when he was playing for us.
I think he is one of those players who you appreciate when he's gone.
Yeah, and that's what I get from when we've interviewed players who've been around during that time. What a good captain he was, but like what a bloke he was, not just a captain, but like he's a proper captain, old school captain. He would rollick, and that Australian twang in his voice, he'd just rollick people. And I think Anton told me a story where he went to I think Lucas had a team meeting and basically dragged everyone into the team, into like one of the rooms at one of the banquet suites at Upton Park, and Curbs and that Mervyn Day were coming, like the last two, and he shut the door in their face, went, no, just players, and basically berated them the whole lot and said, look, if you don't want to fucking play for us, tell me, I'll tell Curbs, we'll get you fucking out of this club now.
That's what you want. That's what you want.
Exactly. And he'd go round and take a percentage of all the players' win bonuses and give it to like the tea lady and the kit man and like dish it out, because he says, these guys are doing it now and they're doing a great job. Could you imagine if they're motivated with a little bit of money, how extra they're going to go for us? They're going to make sure this and the pitch is like that. And
if we had that kind of character in the team right now, then I think we'd be a lot better off.
I think we have more than one. I think we've got one or two, but I think that team.
Yeah.
That team, you had like even people like people like Anton. You had some strong people in there. Even someone like Robert Green. He was strong, and even and Jimmy Walker and stuff like that as well. You had they had real characters, like a whole bunch of them. I think if you have one or two, I think you end up not.
I mean, obviously we have Nobes.
Yeah.
He is a leader, but I think there's just something about the likes of Neil. They're just such a natural leader, a natural captain. Noble, I think, just my opinion, I think he makes a good captain, but he's just, I don't know how to put it into words, to be honest.
I wouldn't be scared of him.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I think for a good captain, you need someone who's your mate, will go to, like Kevin Nolan. He'll go to bat for you.
Another one, another natural leader.
He will go to bat for you, but if you cross him,
exactly,
he's gonna rip shreds. And as a young kid going into the team or a foreign player, that type of not being, not bullying, but I think you need that for a captain. Sometimes you need to be strong, and
on and off the pitch.
Yeah, we've got ourselves out of that rabbit hole.
Thank you. You saved me there. Saved my arms.
But I knew what you was meaning, but I was trying to think of say the same words as well. But anyway, we'll put Lucas Neal in. Totally will agree with that. Right, okay, let's go centre backs. Let's go first centre back. Then Lou.
This is my first centre back pick, and I will go with Winston Reid.
Yeah.
For what he's done, I know obviously his injuries have caught up with him over recent years, and now he's in America, isn't he? But for what he's done over the past decade for the club, which I guess I remember most as a West Ham fan from 2010 to now, is my biggest memory of West Ham as a club. He's certainly played as big a part as any. He's obviously got so many iconic goals. Millwall, the winner against Millwall, which I still don't know how was allowed, because was it Foba who absolutely crashed into
something like that? Yeah.
I mean, I'm not complaining, but I'm still shocked to this day that was let go. I'm not sure with VAR that would stand, but he crashed it into the net anyway. And then obviously he scored against Spurs away in that 3-0 win.
Yeah.
And the most important of all, the winner against Sunderland in I'm joking.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Against Torquay in the FA Cup third round. Yeah.
I mean, he did score a last-minute winner against Sunderland.
He didn't he?
His left foot outside the box. But obviously, the one I'm talking about is against Man U in the final game at the Berlin. I was lucky enough to be there. And it was just, wow, what a night, goosebumps.
It was, wasn't it? Yeah. And
but on top of those goals, he's also a brilliant defender. Probably the best I've seen at West Ham in my years during his peak.
I think one of the most naturally gifted defenders. Do you know what I mean? He obviously came to us in 2010.
Yeah.
Didn't really bring up any trees, to be honest, in that first season. We got relegated. And then I think getting relegated actually made him, because he was consistently playing, and found his feet. He's cut his teeth in the Championship, and then you don't get people like Liverpool and Arsenal looking at you and for being a crap player. And again, like Cresswell, blighted by injury, but it's nice to see him at least getting some game time at the Whitecaps now. Technically it's his testimonial year this year.
I was about to say I'm not sure it'll happen, but I would like to see him get a testimonial one day.
Yeah,
because he's, like I say, he's such a big part of the last decade at West Ham.
Oh, definitely.
And I think he deserves one as much as anyone else.
Definitely. All right, we'll put Winston Reid in. Let's go the second centre back then, Lou.
I'm split between two. I'm split between Ginge.
Yeah.
And one who's currently, first team, Angelo Ooh, do I have to make a decision now, or can I make an argument for each? I don't know. Um, I think overall I'll go Ginge.
Yeah,
I would like to put Ogbonna in. I think I'll just make a little case for Ogbonna first, but
yeah,
I think since he's signed, he's been here 5 years now, which has absolutely flown by.
yeah. It is.
And I think at one point it looked like he was possibly on his way out. He wasn't making the team a couple of years ago. Last season, I personally voted for him for Hammer of the Year. I think he was our most consistent player throughout the whole of last season when we were playing well, when we weren't playing so well. And he's certainly a figurehead in our defence right now. And if we didn't have him, we'd be, I was about to say we'd be all over the place, but we are, but we'd be even more all over the place. So yeah, and he just seems like a really great guy. Ogbonna, he seems to get the club. But yeah, Ginge, I'll go for Ginge. He's obviously had 2 spells at the club back in when we first came up. I think he came along with Danny Gabardon from Cardiff, and yeah, I don't think he was. I think that first season it was mainly Ferdinand and Gabardon, wasn't it, in the back 2?
Yeah.
So he was making. He wasn't playing as much, but he was certainly a good player when called upon. And
Definitely.
I remember him scoring a header away at Chelsea. Was it? I think it was the opening goal.
Yeah, I think
when
so.
he had a full head of ginger hair.
When he became a ginger.
Exactly. I think we lost that game 4-1, but he scored the opening goal. And I just remember bouncing around the living room celebrating. But then he came back to us as a more experienced, well-rounded defender, and with a shaved head. And yeah, he had a really good 5, 6, 7 year spell with us.
He did.
And I think he consolidated himself as I wouldn't say West Ham legend, but a cult hero.
Yeah, that's a good way to describe him. I think, when he came back, to me, he seemed more of a West Ham defender than when he left, because he came back with the shaven head, the beard, and just like was rugged and just would put his body on the line, and more of an old school Alvin Martin type defender. And exactly. became a cult hero. He did. And I love a player who, when he's not playing, he goes and sits in the away fans, and
he did that at Arsenal a couple of years.
Yeah. And I really rate, and I love players who give their shirt away meaningfully rather than flippantly. Do you know what I mean? Because some players and just throw it into the crowds, but literally he would, like, in that chav corner, or the adopted chav corner at London Stadium, he would pick a little kid out, take his shirt off and hand it over, and hands up.
He did the same at away games as well.
Yeah. And
I mainly get to away games rather than home games, and pretty much every away game, win or lose or draw, mainly lose, obviously. It'd be the first over clapping, and most of the time he'd give his shirt away, and he's just West Ham through and through now, isn't he? And it's just disappointing the way it ended, really. Obviously, I think he received his notice or whatever it was via email, was it, from Golden Sully?
But it's unfortunately, isn't it? It's like unfortunately, it's football in general now. Christ, that happens. It's like it's different, isn't it? Now it's like I think a lot of people have like a utopian view of football and footballers and the way it works. And we'll play. I remember, is it Billy Bonds or something like that? I think Billy Bonds finished on 699. In terms of
it always aggravates me looking at that stat. I just wish you got the 700.
But it's the same thing, isn't it? You think they would get a round up, or play 5 minutes against Kettering in a game, something like that. But but even to be honest, Bill could probably do a job now. You saw he looks fit as a fiddle anyway, but he'd probably be all right for 20 minutes. But no, I know what you mean about Ginge. But we'll see. You never know. Might come back. He does his academy, does his school, his football schools and stuff like they all do, like Jack and that lot do as well. So
yeah, for sure.
We'll see. Right. All right. Okay. That's your back four. That's your goalkeeper.
Back four. I have to decide my formation. Oh God.
Right, what are we going to do?
I think we'll just keep it old school 4-4-2.
4-4-2. Okay. Let's go to left mid or left wing then.
Left.
Easier.
Controversial, but I can't. I know, and this is it's not. It's a mix between my best 11 and favorite 11, but
Yeah.
it's controversial. But Payet.
The thing is, everyone says controversial, but everyone picks him. He's not controversial. He's one of the best players of ever. You know, it was all controversial.
Just controversial because of the way it ended, and
exactly. Yeah.
He just proved. I've never seen anything like it at West Ham.
No, me neither. No.
And if I don't think I ever will again. Well, hopefully one day, but certainly not in the near future.
No.
Certainly not got anything like that at the minute, anyway. Especially with the way Anderson and Co are playing. But that's a discussion for another day on Hammers Academy, I'm sure.
Sure.
I'm sure Henry will be proud of that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, Payet, it was just so sensational. There's just every single game. You'd looked forward to games because of Dimitri Payet.
Yes.
Every week, once the game ended, you were like, "Oh, can't wait for the next game." It's just those free kicks that even when he didn't score, it was just that insane pieces of skill. I remember, I think it was against Chelsea in the first season, we beat them 2-1. He took it down on his chest, like lobbed it over Willian's head, and then put across. And it was just stuff like that. It was just like at West Ham, we don't get to see that kind of player.
No, we don't. No.
For that season or so, including the Euros afterwards, he was genuinely one of the best players in the world.
Yeah.
And that was shown by, I think he got like 18th in the Ballon d'Or.
Something like that, yeah.
Something mad like that. So
yeah, you're totally right.
And obviously, like Collins, but in different circumstances. It's sad the way it ended. But I can see both sides to the story, so I don't hold it against him too much personally.
No, of course you would. And we with those mercurial players, you do get that other side to them. You know, it's like they would throw their toys out the pram. It's just Arnie as well. It's the same thing, and I think people now they literally, despite everyone would say, "Oh, it's controversial," but I'm putting Dimitri Pye in. He was one of the best players he probably is technically the best player I've ever seen at West Ham, and probably ever likely to see, unless something.
Was he? You saw more of Di Canio than I did. Would you rate him over Di Canio?
Yeah, technically, yeah. Not. I mean, I always say that technically, Pyatt was the best technically player I've seen at West Ham. Yeah. But I think Di Canio was the best player because I think you've got this sort of this pie chart. You've got a proportion is technical ability, but also you need the passion. You need that sort of association with the jobs as well. So I just think for him, I just think he was brilliant, and he was absolutely phenomenal. And I think he made that season what it was, and I think he'll always go down in folklore history for giving us so many amazing,
especially with, I'd say, my generation, because we've not had the luxury to see some of the greats of the past, Brooklyn and Devonshire and so on. So Payet is kind of as close to that level, ability-wise, that we're likely to see until who knows when.
Who knows when exactly? But yeah.
Great memories.
Yeah, and as I said, we'll have the memories, and people forget about it. We've had people who have left our club and gone to play for other rival clubs who in the 60s and 70s and stuff like that, who we revere. Do you know what I mean? Who we love and
but over time it gets you just remember what they did at West Ham rather than I mean, people forget. I think it was it Bobby Moore handed in a transfer request to Spurs, was it?
Indeed, that's my big gripe when people criticise Scott Parker. That's my big thing back to them. But I mean, with Pyatt, I mean, what did we really expect? He left us. He joined us because he went on strike at Marseille, didn't he? So it's like he's got form.
Yeah.
I think every club he's left, he's done the same thing. almost every club he's gone on strike and gone to, so.
And I mean, it's going back to him us saying he was one of the best players in the world. If you're at that level and you see, and you kind of promised the club to progress, but you see the likes of Zaza coming on loan, Jonathan Kaleri, Ashley Fletcher, those signings, you're gonna be a little bit, pissed off.
I know you. I know what you mean. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not trying to stick up for him, but I can. That's what I mean when I say I can see his side of the story. It's I know he chose to sign that contract, obviously, but you want to make the most of your talent.
I know what you mean. And also, I mean, with him, and also, I think as a club, I don't think we understood. I think we sort of took us back a little bit how good he became. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was. I can't really think of anyone we bought since I've really supported them who we've signed in their peak. We always sign people in their bookends of their career. Yeah. We'll have Joe Cole making his debut, then buggering off and coming back when he's basically almost retired, and then always sign. So Jeremy Ngakia and Teddy Sheringham. These are the types. So these are bookends. We never really get that. And Payet, to all intensive purposes, we signed him in his purple patch. He was top of all this, the chances created stats at Ligue 1 against, I think it was only De Bruyne had got, and Messi or something had got more. He wasn't in the French squad. Still wasn't being picked. He came to us. He became a household name. He was a Ballon d'Or nominee. He was one of men in the tournament in the Euros, and we didn't make him, but we got him at the right time, and we made him a bigger deal than he was before he joined. And I don't think we knew how to. We've never had superstars. We have people who become superstars like Joe Cole and Lampard and Rio and stuff like that, but we never had one ourselves, and I don't think we really knew how to handle him as well. And I think that's part of the reason. But
I agree there.
Yeah. Anyway, all right, Lou. Okay, that's left wing. Right wing. Let's go right wing. Let's go the other side. Who should we have on the right side?
I've been thinking about this over the past couple of minutes, but I'm going to go for Alessandro Diamante.
Oh, nice one. Big fan of that Diamante.
Does it take you a while to process that then?
No. I've just got to find him because I have all my names, and usually they're at the top. So yeah, we'll talk about Diamante. Diamante was brilliant. I thought he was an absolute nutter. Yeah, and I thought he was just so much fun.
Di Canio mold. I know that's easy to say because they're both Italian, but he was kind of in that Di Canio mold of again Maverick. I seem to like these Mavericks, don't I?
I think we all do. I don't say. I think everyone. West Ham, we have a better relationship with the team when you have someone on the team who is so unpredictable, like Di Canio, like Diamante, like Payet. I mean, like Payet wasn't, but it was. We love a nutter as well, and Diamante was a crazy bloke. He was crazy, but he was our crazy bloke
for sure.
Oh,
sorry, I think I cut out for a second there.
That's all right. Carry on. No, yeah, we're just talking about how great Diamante is, man.
Yeah, we only had him for one season, didn't we? But during that season, he was just a bit of a breath of fresh air, similar to Payet, but not on that level.
Yeah.
And I was still quite young at the time, and he got me up off my feet. And he, like I say, ever since he's left the club, he's only spoke highly of us as well. I think he plays in Australia now. I think he did an interview the other week where,
yes, he did.
He spoke highly of us.
Roshane for the.
Let me open my, one sec. Let me open my door. I think there might be a bit of connection of that. Yeah.
the old open the door Wi-Fi.
Yeah, the open the door trick.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that happens in my toilet all the time. For some reason, when I shut my door, and when you're on the toilet and you're watching a bit of YouTube, I always have to flick onto the old G. It's really annoying. There we go. A little insight into
Sorry,
my life.
my bad Wi-Fi is ruining the video.
Don't be silly. Yeah, I mean, he sort of was that sort of stopgap after the Canio, wasn't it? You know, we didn't have. He just was. I mean, we had a few, didn't we? I think we had him. We had Louis Jimenez. Do you remember Louis Jimenez? He had
Yeah,
like
I think he was
hair and
like the
stuff.
season after, wasn't he?
Yeah, so we
But
had like a
he,
little
he,
rotation, but he was
he never really
just
made it.
no,
Diamante made an impression. Well,
yeah,
and
no,
he,
we
he
didn't.
scored a great free kick. He scored that great free kick against Birmingham, didn't he? In that
Yes,
2-0 win
yeah,
at Upton Park under the lights. I think he scored. He scored a. I think it was an equalising penalty against Arsenal and a
yeah.
2-2 draw. I'm sure.
Tell me about that
He scored. He
Italian
scored a
passion.
weird. Sorry. Go on.
Well, I was about to say something
Yeah.
about that Italian passion. Do you know what I mean? He's just like and I think that's why West Ham fans love like the Di Canios of this world. And there's something about the sort of the Italian way they play football and how passionate they are, which just grabs West Ham fans. And I don't think it's a coincidence.
Sure.
Yeah, he's playing at Western United now. There we go.
Yeah.
Australia, very good.
Yeah. I don't know how old he is, but he must be getting on.
37.
Oh, there you go.
There we go. And he's 5'11", if you just wish to know. And
Thank you.
he's got 3 kids. There we go.
I was about to ask how many kids he has. But...
Yeah, he's got Taddeo, Olivia, and Eileen.
Eileen.
Yeah.
Taddeo, peculiar name for an Italian child.
Bless him. But no, he was great. I don't like him now. You can chuck him out and put Laurent Courtois in instead. It's fun, but yes, no, I know what you mean. He was fun. It was good fun, weren't he? We enjoyed him, and he was. But that, and I remember, wasn't it that season? Wasn't he like runner up of Hammer of the Year? I think to Scott Parker or something like that as well that year.
Yeah, I think he was.
He made like
he was.
Yeah, massive impact. But yeah, all right, we'll put Diamante in. Yeah, I'm sure we would. Right, let's go into the central midfield positions then. Who's going to be your first centre midfielder then, Lou?
Scott Parker, as I just said. 3-time Hammer of the Year.
Yeah.
Not just on ability, but like you just mentioned a minute ago, passion. That the captain we never had, because obviously during everyone talks about him as if he was our captain, especially during that Avram Grant season. Yeah. But it was obviously Matt Upson, who I'm not really that fond of, and I'm not sure many West Ham fans are really.
No, not really.
But he certainly took that captain's role and leader's role upon himself, and he pretty much single-handedly kept us up during the season before.
Yeah.
Under Zola, I remember that goal against Wigan. And that 3-2 win. I think that officially confirmed our survival. And just for 3 seasons straight, he was such a brilliant player. And it, like you say, I don't begrudge him going to Tottenham. No. He just won. He just found his place in the England team. He was. He won the Football Writers Player of the Year. You can't expect him to stay in the Championship, and I think it was Spurs' club growing up as well.
Yeah, I think he was. His dad was a big Spurs fan or something like that, and he was on his
his dad, and he played in a 0-0 against Spurs like the day after his dad died.
Yeah.
So I don't see how anyone can hold him in low esteem.
No,
and so you can't begrudge anyone. I know we've got a rivalry against Tottenham, but you can't begrudge him going to his boyhood club and the one who his dad's bought. It's like if one of us played for Spurs and West Ham came in, and we were on a higher pedestal, we'd absolutely jump at the chance. You just got to put it into perspective.
You've got to put it in perspective of what is it's a career to them, and it is, and it's horrible to think of that. People think, love the badge, and they do love the badge, but it's like it's a career, and so for them, it's just for me, it just seems it's my biggest bugbear about people is how some people don't give Scott
Sure.
Parker because I used to see him crawl off the pitch.
Yeah,
Put so much in, and he was an absolute.
I think
Top
he earned the right to leave.
Yeah, of course he did. And yes, Trevor Brookie, when we went down, didn't leave for us, and he stayed with us. But that was 40 years ago. Do you know what I mean? It's like it's a long time ago, and football's changed. Unfortunately, if you get 3 years out of a play, you've done well nowadays.
Sure.
They'll bugger off, don't they, and go all over the place after a couple of years. Even managers as well.
You can't, as we learned with the likes of Pye, you can't get too attached.
No,
players these days. Like Rice, I'm sure he's probably not going to leave this season, but I think next season, I think that's the best we're going to get out of him. Really.
Yeah, I think so, man. I think so. Right, okay, we'll put Parker in. Who's next, man?
I think Marno will have. I don't think I can really. Don't think I can make a Hammers 11 and not include Mark Noble. He's been with me, like on a journey with me.
Well, he has really, hasn't he?
Exactly from 2004, something like that.
Yeah.
When we were in the championship, I know I said I went to the games a couple of years earlier, but I don't really have memories because I was quite young. But from 2000, I remember that championship season from like 2004, and that's when he first broke into the team.
Yeah.
And like I say, I've kind of been on a journey with him ever since, and now he's still here 16 years later, which is absolutely mental, really. We talk about players not really staying for long, but 16 years at a club in this day and age is credit to him, and obviously he adores the club. He has obviously, I was about to say lost his legs, but he's never really had any, has he? But you know what I mean. But he still he did an interview last year where he said if he gets picked, he'll play, but it's not him picking the team, so you can't really give him too much stick for being in the team. Him personally, it's the manager who picks it at the end of the day. He's not going to refuse to play. Yeah. So, but he's given us so much over the years. Obviously, he's kind of like a standing captain during that championship season. Then he took over Nolan, and he's been captain for what, six years? I think 5 years,
something like that. Yeah, I mean, he's just one of these guys who just. He's like Doctor Who, doesn't he? He sort of regenerates himself into like a number 10 now or whatever. But
and he's still, despite his decline, he's still capable of top class performances, no doubt about it.
Yeah,
usually against the likes of Man United or Spurs, he just seems to up his game, and for games like that, he's certainly an asset to have.
Oh, totally.
And no matter how long he stays, it would be nice to see him. It'd be nice to see him stay on with the club in some form.
I think he'll have to. I think he'll have to out of his own sanity more than anything, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't think he'll know what to do with himself apart from maybe go fishing. I think he likes fishing, doesn't
he? Yeah, they all do, don't they? They all like a bit of fishing.
Golf or fishing is usually what they go to. But yeah, obviously he had his testimonial 5 years ago, which just shows how long he's been with us, really, isn't it? Yeah, that was a fun watch. I wasn't there, sadly, but
it was pretty much like all the other greatest hits, wasn't it? Really, in terms of all the, it was lovely.
Great day. Obviously, Dean Ashton scored that. Was it bicycle kick?
Yeah. Bless him.
Yeah, Di Canio came on, and loads of other little stars as well. But yeah, you can't not have Mr. West Ham in
particularly as you said, he's sort of your.
He's the closest I'm going to get to Billy Bonds, pretty much.
Yeah, me too. Yeah,
and
it's one of those things where I think it's the exception to the rule now, isn't it? So the testimonial itself is something which doesn't happen very often, and when it does, I think it has to be revered. And having your captain, having your one-man club, your 500 and whatever it is appearances now, and he's a massive West Ham fan, just gives it an extra level. And he's lovely bloke. Right, okay. Marky Nubbs is in. Let's go up front then. We've got 2 up front then. So here we go.
I was dreading this bit.
Okay.
God, we've had a lot of dross up front over the years. I think I've got one in my head. I'll have to think of the other as I'm explaining the one. But Mr. Carlton Cole.
Yeah. Good old Carlton.
Not the best.
No.
Admittedly, but like so many of the others, he just gets West Ham.
Yeah.
And he's impossible to not like as a West Ham fan. He's like when he left and on a free, then we re-signed him.
Yeah.
We were like magnets, just always attracted to each other.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
And kind of similar to when it was just never his fate to leave when he did. But
No.
like when was it? Pulis was going to sign him at West Brom 1 January, and then that collapsed, and he just ended up staying again. He was just always meant to be at West Ham. And
same sort of thing to Hislop, like you just smile when you think of Carlton Cole.
Yeah,
and God loves a trier.
Whenever I think of Carlton, I think of 2 things. Remember away at Blackburn when it was snowing, and he landed in the snow, and he was playing in the snow. It just sums it up. And then obviously, I think it was the League Cup semi-final against Birmingham when his head was steaming.
Yeah, he was chuffed.
It looked like his head was on fire. And sorry, go on.
I was gonna say, he's like a typical. He sort of encapsulates West Ham. I think Carlton Cole does, because there'll be moments of absolute top jaw, world class finishing, and then the next minute he'll trip over his own feet.
That is exactly. There was one game specifically against Tottenham where he scored a worldy volley with his left foot. Then about 10 minutes later, he back passed it to Defoe who equalised. I think that's exactly what you're saying there. It was just like he just got to take the rough with the smooth with Carlton.
You just got to, don't you? To be honest,
but he's just such a great character, and he still works. I think he under 14s or something like that.
Yeah, he works. He's in the coach. In the coach. Every age group has an ex-player, I believe, in the coaching setup. So he's one of the. I think maybe 16s. I think Zavon's 14s. And I think Paul's the 15s, Conch's the 15s. So it all works out. But it's great that he's still around, because I just think, just the energy.
He just brings such a great vibe, and then
totally. Right, okay. So who's the last one going to be then, Lou?
Going through a list in my head, and all I can think of is the bad ones. I've got the nightmares of Shamak and Savio and Zaza, Kaleri. I'll go with Tevez.
Yeah. Oh, just so Kaleri and Carlos Tevez.
Same nationality.
I can see the way of thinking about it.
Obviously he was only with us for a season, and he only performed for half a season, if less than that. But similar to Payet, he was just on another level when he was playing.
Really was.
I did mention before when I was talking about Neil that he didn't single-handedly carry us to surviving like many people make out, but he certainly played as big a part as any, if not more a part than as any. He just turned it on during it was that goal against, it was that free kick against Spurs, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That just everything seemed to click from then on.
It did, yeah. It did.
He jumped in the crowd. You could see how happy he was to score.
Yeah.
He could have easily just shrugged it off and I'm coming to the end of my time here. I don't really need to try, but he was just so happy to get that final goal. And obviously the end of that game ended in tears, but it kind of spurred us on for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
I think the next game was away at Blackburn, where we controversially won, to say the least. I don't know if you remember. I was behind the goal that day actually, and Tevez won a penalty to equalise where it wasn't a penalty in a million years. It just kind of slipped because it was raining, and then Zamora scored the winner with an effort that didn't cross the line. So we got away with that one, and then I think from that point onwards, bar a couple of slip-ups against Sheffield United and Chelsea, we didn't look back.
No, we did.
That was mainly to do with Tevez and his just heroics. And I think once he got going, everyone could see how good he was, and it just inspired the rest of the team.
Yeah, totally. He was just like he was, as you said, once, because I remember he was so unlucky beforehand. Everyone was willing him to score. I remember in that Tottenham game, I think he kept hitting the bar and scuffing the shots, and then when that goal came in, the release, and speaking to a few players who were around that time, I don't think he realised what it meant to people, the English game, until that game, because obviously it was such a devastating loss, so to speak. And then that's where this sort of love affair, and I mean, he was doing an article a couple of months ago saying, the only team he'd go to in Europe would be West Ham again. And what is he?
I mean, there's been rumours down the years, haven't there? Tevez might be coming back this summer.
Yeah,
obviously never materialised, and he went back to Boca Juniors, where it's true love. But it's nice to hear that.
It is, especially considering what he's won at other clubs, and he's been at Juventus, and and he went to obviously Man United, City, but no, he wants to come back to West Ham again. And
I think he just appreciates the love that the fans gave, and it was very real.
It really was, genuine, and to have such an ovation for a player when they come back from an opposition side.
And obviously he did the crossed hammers.
He brought it back, and that we didn't. I don't remember doing it ever. The crossed hammers after Tevez. I mean,
that's my first memory of it. To be fair,
I think I saw some pictures in the 70s and 80s when people signed. That's something they did, and no one did it, and he brought it back, and now everyone bloody does it.
They do.
But no, he was a special player. He was a very special player. There's no doubt about that. And and that finishes the team, Lou. That finishes it. Wow,
that was easier than I imagined.
Yeah.
I think I don't think I've missed anyone out that I'd want to put in. No, I'll probably end the video and I'll be like,
yeah, and then you dear me afterwards another 11. It's like, that's the 11 I meant. For the purposes of the video. But no, it's great, man. It's been lovely chatting to you. Like an hour's flown by.
Well, I just noticed in the top corner now.
Just blinked, an hour's flown by, man. But obviously, thank you so much for your time, obviously, and obviously, good luck with the old. Absolute pleasure, and good luck with the Hammers Academy stuff with Henry and stuff and Jack and yeah, we'll be all good. And thank you. So obviously, thanks everyone for watching as well. Didn't thank any of you lot as well. Thanks for watching, or if you're watching on YouTube or podcasty stuff, podcast platforms, wherever they are, Spotify and Apple and that type of stuff. Whatever it is, give it a like, give it a share, and obviously get over to the Hammers Academy as well and give them some love as well. And until next time, from me and from Lou, take care, everyone. Stay safe. That's really, really important. Come on, you irons, and we'll see you again very, very soon. Take care, everyone.